Ladies and gentlemen, there's a truth we often overlook: the value of your absence. It's not in the moments when you're present, but in the spaces when you are not. When life pulls you away, when the storm rages, and the world feels heavy with its demands, it can feel like you're fading into the background. But let me tell you something: those moments, those periods of absence hold the key to your transformation. Absence isn't defeat. It isn't retreat. It's a space for growth. It's in the quiet that you learn to hear your own voice, your own purpose, and your own strength. It's when you step away from the noise that you start to understand what you're truly made of. Imagine a tree in a forest weathered by years of storms, beaten by wind and rain. The tree, now gnarled and scarred, seems like it should have fallen long ago. But something happens when that tree stands alone, away from the shadows of its peers. The absence of other trees around it forces it to grow in new directions, reaching for the sun in ways it never would have if it had stayed within the comfort of the crowd. There's a story of a man who lost everything. His business, his family, his dreams, all gone in a matter of months. He found himself sitting alone, questioning everything he thought he knew. But in that silence, in that absence of all he once held dear, he discovered something more valuable than anything he had before himself. In the void, he rebuilt. And when he returned to the world, he didn't just bounce back. He came back with a clarity, a drive, and a sense of purpose that no one could take from him. Absence often carries a negative connotation. We think of it as a void, a space where something or someone important is missing, leaving behind a sense of loss or emptiness. But what if we could reframe that perspective? What if, instead of seeing absence as a negative, we saw it as a powerful catalyst for growth, reflection, and transformation? The most powerful breakthroughs in our lives come not from the constant hustle and noise of our daily existence, but from moments of solitude and stillness. It's in these moments of absence from the world and its distractions that we gain clarity. We are forced to stop, to listen, to think deeply about who we are, what we truly want, and where we are headed. When we are constantly surrounded by people, expectations, and external demands, it's easy to lose sight of ourselves. We become caught up in what others think of us, in the pressures to perform, to conform, to keep up. But the real answers, those that lead to personal growth, are often found in the quiet spaces. In absence, you are no longer defined by the roles others impose on you. You become free to reflect on what truly matters, on what you want out of life, and how you want to shape your future. Think about a time when you felt overwhelmed, when everything was moving so fast that you couldn't catch your breath. Perhaps you had to step back from the situation, remove yourself from the chaos, and find a quiet corner to regain your composure. In that absence of external noise, you started to hear your inner voice more clearly. You began to see things in a new light. That moment of absence was a turning point. It was the pause you needed to reevaluate, to make decisions with more clarity, and to focus on what was truly important to you. This is the power of absence. It's a gift that allows you to look inward and assess your life with a new perspective. It's not about running away or avoiding your responsibilities, but about creating space for growth. Just as a garden needs time to rest in order for the plants to grow and regenerate, we too need moments of absence from the world to regenerate ourselves. Absence forces us to slow down, to be still, and to ask the hard questions. In the absence of constant noise and stimulation, we are confronted with the raw truth of who we are and what we want. This can be uncomfortable. It can bring up feelings of insecurity, doubt, or fear. But it's through confronting these feelings in the absence of external distractions that we gain the strength to move forward. It's through this process of self-reflection that we find the courage to make the necessary changes in our lives, to pursue the goals that matter most, and to align our actions with our true purpose. Absence from certain environments or relationships can give us the clarity to realize what's truly important. Sometimes we can become so entrenched in a particular place, job, or relationship that we lose sight of what we need to grow. When we remove ourselves, even temporarily, from these circumstances, we create room for new insights. We begin to recognize what is no longer serving us, what's holding us back, and what needs to change. Absence doesn't have to mean permanent distance. It's not about leaving everything behind for good. It's about taking a step back, gaining perspective, and then returning to the world with renewed purpose. The absence allows us to come back stronger, with a better sense of direction and understanding of what we want to contribute. It's in that space of absence that we are given the time and opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become the person we are meant to be. Instead of fearing moments of absence, embrace them. Recognize them for what they truly are: opportunities to reflect, regroup, and regenerate. Embrace the stillness, because it's in the absence of the world's noise that you'll find the clarity to step into your true power. Absence creates space: physical, emotional, and mental space. It's this space that allows us to truly understand our value. Often, we're so caught up in the day-to-day demands of life, in the relationships and commitments that surround us, that we lose sight of the importance of giving ourselves room to grow. When we step back, when we allow ourselves to be absent from the chaos, something profound happens. We start to see the full extent of what we offer and the power we hold within ourselves. In a world that constantly demands our attention, it's easy to forget that space is essential for recognition. Consider the way a room looks when it's filled with clutter piled high with books, clothes, papers, and miscellaneous items. The chaos makes it difficult to appreciate the beauty of the room itself. But if you clear the clutter, remove the distractions, and create space, the room is no longer just a collection of items. You start to see its design, its structure, and its structure. The room, in its simplicity, becomes something more. The same is true for us as individuals. When we're constantly surrounded by others and caught up in the noise of life, our true worth can be difficult for others and for ourselves to fully recognize. But when we step away, even if just for a while, we create the space necessary for others to notice us in a new way. Our absence forces people to see us differently, to recognize what we bring to the table. It allows them to reflect on how much we truly contribute to their lives, to the work we do, and to the world we inhabit. There's a certain power in stepping back. When you remove yourself from a situation, you give others the opportunity to reflect on your impact. In relationships, in work environments, or even in communities, your absence often has a ripple effect. People start to miss your presence. They start to realize how much you've been doing, how much your energy, your ideas, and your contributions mattered. This absence is not a sign of weakness, but of strength, because it reveals the depth of your influence. This concept applies not only to how others view you, but also to how you view yourself. We often get so wrapped up in our roles and responsibilities that we forget to take a step back and acknowledge what we've accomplished. The absence of immediate feedback, recognition, or approval doesn't mean we haven't been impactful. It simply means that, in those quiet moments, we need to recognize our own value. It's easy to get lost in the daily grind, in the constant feedback loop, but absence gives us the chance to reflect on our own progress, on the growth that has occurred behind the scenes, away from the spotlight. Think about the moments when you've stepped away from a particular project, relationship, or situation, even for just a short time. It may have been uncomfortable at first, but in that space, you were able to evaluate your position with more clarity. You were able to see things from a fresh perspective. The distance allowed you to realize how much you had been contributing and how much more you were capable of achieving. In that absence, you found the strength to appreciate your own worth, separate from the external validation of others. Absence also has the power to make others appreciate your presence even more. Think about a time when someone important to you was absent from your life, even temporarily. Maybe they took a trip, or they had to step back for personal reasons. In their absence, you may have realized how much they meant to you. You may have discovered the gaps they left behind, the things they did that you didn't fully recognize until they were no longer there. This is the power of space. It gives you the chance to see just how important someone or something really is. If you're feeling undervalued or overlooked, remember that absence can be a powerful tool. It doesn't mean that you are insignificant. Quite the opposite. It creates the space for others to truly see your worth and for you to understand your own impact. When you create this space, you give yourself the opportunity to step back into your life with greater clarity, knowing that your value is undeniable and your presence is essential. Absence is not just the absence of you, it's the presence of your true power, waiting to be recognized. Sometimes in life, we find ourselves in moments of isolation, whether by choice or circumstance. It's in these moments of solitude that we can experience profound personal growth. While being alone may initially feel uncomfortable, even painful, it holds within it the potential for transformation. Solitude allows us to reconnect with ourselves, rediscover our inner strength, and reimagine our future. It's during these times of isolation that we often make the most significant strides in our personal development. When we are surrounded by others, there is an undeniable energy that influences our thoughts, emotions, and decisions. We live in a world where external noise, whether in the form of social media, work pressures, or relationships, constantly pulls our attention outward. But isolation, though often seen as negative, gives us the rare opportunity to turn our attention inward. Without distractions, we can focus on our thoughts, our feelings, and the dreams we may have buried beneath the demands of daily life. In this quiet, we are forced to face ourselves. We can no longer avoid the truths we've been running from. This might be difficult at first, even overwhelming. But it's in these moments of solitude that we often uncover the deepest parts of ourselves. It's when we are alone that we begin to listen to our true desires, recognize our deepest fears, and understand the lessons we need to learn in order to grow. The absence of others allows us to connect with the only person who can truly guide us ourselves. During times of isolation, we also have the opportunity to reassess our goals and values. We can take a step back from the noise of life and ask ourselves important questions. What do we want? What are we passionate about? What do we want our legacy to be? Without the pressure to conform to societal expectations or the influence of others' opinions, we are free to explore what truly matters to us. In this solitude, we gain clarity about the direction we want our lives to take and the steps we need to take to get there. Isolation is also a time for reflection. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life and forget where we've come from and what we've overcome. When we are alone, we can reflect on the challenges we've faced and the strength we've gained from them. We can look back and see how far we've come. And we can also look forward, setting new intentions for the future. Solitude provides the space to celebrate our victories, no matter how small, and to learn from our mistakes without judgment. Isolation can be the breeding ground for creativity. In the absence of external influence, our minds are free to wander, to explore new ideas, and to come up with innovative solutions to problems. When we're constantly surrounded by others, our thoughts can become clouded by their expectations and opinions. But in solitude, we are free to think for ourselves, to break free from the constraints of the familiar, and to dream up new possibilities. Many great ideas, inventions, and works of art have emerged from moments of solitude and isolation. It's in these quiet moments that we tap into our creativity and discover new pathways forward. Personal growth in isolation is also about resilience. Life doesn't always go according to plan, and sometimes we find ourselves alone in the face of hardship. These moments of solitude can either break us or make us stronger. It's through overcoming the challenges we face in isolation that we develop the resilience to face anything life throws our way. Being alone teaches us that we can rely on ourselves, that we are capable of navigating our own journey, no matter how difficult it may seem. Isolation is not a punishment. It's a gift. It's in the absence of the world's noise and distractions that we find our true strength. It's in these quiet moments that we rediscover who we are, what we stand for, and what we are capable of achieving. Personal growth, therefore, is often born in solitude. By embracing isolation, we give ourselves the space to heal, to grow, and to emerge stronger than ever before, ready to face the world with a new sense of purpose and determination. Setbacks are an inevitable part of life. At some point, we all face challenges that knock us down, disrupt our plans, and leave us questioning our path. Whether it's the loss of a job, a failed relationship, or an unexpected obstacle, these moments of adversity can feel overwhelming. Yet, within every setback lies the seed of a comeback. The key is how we choose to respond. Turning setbacks into comebacks requires resilience, perspective, and an unyielding belief in the possibility of growth. When setbacks occur, our first instinct might be to dwell on what went wrong or to blame ourselves for the failure. This reaction is natural but unproductive. Instead of focusing on the problem, we must shift our mindset to see the opportunity within the challenge. Every setback is a moment of reflection, a chance to learn something valuable about ourselves and the circumstances around us. It forces us to ask difficult questions. What can I do differently? How can I grow from this experience? What lessons can I take with me moving forward? One of the most important things to understand about setbacks is that they are not permanent. They are temporary pauses in our journey, not the end of the road. Just like a slingshot, which pulls back before launching forward with greater force, setbacks often prepare us for a greater leap ahead. It's in these moments of pulling back that we gather strength, clarity, and focus. The pause created by a setback gives us time to reassess, regroup, and realign our goals with our true purpose. Many successful people have faced monumental setbacks only to come back stronger. Consider the story of Thomas Edison, who famously failed thousands of times while attempting to invent the light bulb. When asked about his repeated failures, he reframed them as lessons, saying, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison's resilience demonstrates that failure is not the opposite of success, it's a stepping stone toward it. Each setback teaches us something critical, refining our approach and bringing us closer to our goals. Setbacks also test our resilience, which is the ability to adapt and bounce back in the face of adversity. Resilience is not about avoiding difficulties, it's about how we respond to them. Building resilience means developing the mindset that challenges are opportunities for growth. It means refusing to let failure define us or dictate our future. Instead, we use failure as fuel, as a catalyst for positive change. One way to transform setbacks into comebacks is by reframing how we view adversity. Instead of seeing challenges as obstacles, we can choose to see them as opportunities for growth. For example, losing a job may feel like a failure, but it can also be a chance to explore a new career path, develop new skills, or pursue a passion that has been put on hold. A failed relationship might open the door to self-discovery, helping us understand what we truly need and deserve in future relationships. The way we interpret our setbacks shapes our ability to overcome them. Persistence plays a crucial role in turning setbacks into comebacks. It's easy to give up when things don't go as planned, but persistence is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. Success rarely happens overnight. It's the result of consistent effort, even in the face of failure. Each time we get back up, we grow stronger, more determined, and more capable of achieving our goals. Turning a setback into a comeback also requires us to surround ourselves with the right support system. During difficult times, the encouragement of friends, mentors, or loved ones can provide the motivation we need to keep going. Their perspective can remind us of our strengths and help us see the bigger picture when we feel stuck. They can help us remember that no matter how difficult the moment feels, it is just one chapter in a much larger story. Every comeback starts with action. It's not enough to reflect on what went wrong or to plan for the future. We must take deliberate steps toward our goals, even if they are small. Progress, no matter how incremental, builds momentum. It reminds us that we have the power to move forward, one step at a time. Setbacks are not the end. They are opportunities in disguise, moments that challenge us to rise, to adapt, and to grow. They remind us of our strength and resilience, teaching us that no matter how far we fall, we have the ability to rise again higher, stronger, and more determined than before. Every great comeback starts with a setback, and every setback is the beginning of a powerful transformation. Every experience we go through in life, no matter how challenging or painful, carries a lesson. These lessons are the threads that weave the fabric of our growth and understanding. Life, with all its highs and lows, is the greatest teacher, constantly presenting us with opportunities to learn and evolve. Even in moments of loss, failure, or adversity, there is wisdom waiting to be discovered. Recognizing and embracing these lessons is what transforms our struggles into stepping stones for success. When life doesn't go as planned, our initial reaction might be frustration, anger, or even despair. It's natural to feel overwhelmed when things fall apart, but hidden within every setback is the potential for growth. To find it, we must shift our mindset. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we should ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" This subtle but powerful shift turns us from passive victims of circumstance into active participants in our own growth. Take failure, for instance. It's often viewed as the opposite of success, but in reality, failure is one of life's most valuable teachers. Every time we fail, we gain insight into what doesn't work, what needs improvement, and how we can approach things differently. Failure strips away the illusion of perfection and forces us to confront our weaknesses, but it also highlights our resilience and capacity to adapt. Learning from failure means seeing it not as an endpoint, but as a stepping stone on the path to success. Consider a person who loses a job they've held for years. At first, the loss might feel devastating, a blow to their identity and sense of security. But as time passes, they might realize the job was no longer aligned with their passions or values. They might use the opportunity to pursue a career they've always dreamed of, acquire new skills, or start a business of their own. The loss, painful as it was, became the catalyst for a more fulfilling chapter of their life. The lesson? Sometimes what feels like a setback is actually a redirection towards something better. Adversity also teaches us resilience and inner strength. When we face challenges, we often discover qualities within ourselves that we didn't know existed. Perhaps it's the courage to take risks, the patience to endure uncertainty, or the creativity to find solutions where none seemed possible. These traits, forged in the fire of difficulty, become assets we carry forward. They equip us to face future challenges with greater confidence and determination. Life's lessons also teach us about empathy and connection. When we go through hardships, we develop a deeper understanding of the struggles others face. This understanding fosters compassion, helping us build stronger, more meaningful relationships. A person who has experienced heartbreak, for example, might be better equipped to support a friend going through a similar situation. Their pain becomes a bridge that connects them to others, creating opportunities for mutual growth and healing. One of the most profound lessons life teaches us is the importance of perspective. In the midst of adversity, it's easy to become consumed by negativity, but stepping back and viewing the situation from a broader perspective can change everything. We begin to see that challenges are temporary, that setbacks are part of the journey, and that growth often comes from the most unexpected places. Perspective reminds us that even in our darkest moments, there is light to be found. To fully embrace the lessons life offers, we must remain open and curious. Growth requires reflection, taking the time to pause, evaluate our experiences, and identify the insights they hold. Journaling, meditating, or simply engaging in honest self-reflection can help us uncover these lessons. It's not about dwelling on the past, but about extracting the wisdom it offers so we can move forward with greater clarity and purpose. The lessons life teaches us are cumulative. Each experience builds on the last, shaping us into the person we are meant to become. The challenges we face today prepare us for the opportunities of tomorrow. The pain we endure gives depth to our joy. The mistakes we make guide us toward wiser choices. Life, in its infinite complexity, is always working to help us grow if only we're willing to learn. The greatest growth doesn't come from avoiding challenges, but from embracing them. Life's lessons are everywhere, waiting to be discovered. They remind us that even in the face of adversity, there is meaning, growth, and transformation to be found. By embracing these lessons, we turn our struggles into strength, our pain into purpose, and our setbacks into the foundation of our success. Every individual leaves behind a legacy, whether they are aware of it or not. A legacy is not just the tangible achievements we accumulate or the accolades we earn. It is the intangible mark we leave on the lives of others and the world around us. Our actions, words, and the values we uphold shape this legacy, often in ways we don't immediately recognize. The concept of a legacy is deeply connected to how we live, how we treat others, and the purpose we pursue. Even in moments of absence, whether temporary or permanent, our impact resonates, reminding us of the importance of being intentional in how we live. When we think about the legacy we want to leave behind, it prompts us to reflect on our values and priorities. It pushes us to ask, what do I want to be remembered for? What kind of difference do I want to make? These questions challenge us to think beyond the superficial goals of status or wealth and focus instead on the deeper, more meaningful aspects of life, our relationships, our contributions, and the way we make others feel. Legacy is often shaped not by grand gestures, but by the small, consistent actions we take every day. A kind word, a helping hand, or a moment of genuine connection can leave a lasting impression on someone's life. These seemingly insignificant moments accumulate, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond what we can see. For example, a teacher who inspires a struggling student may not witness the long-term impact of their encouragement, but their influence could shape that student's confidence, choices, and future success. Similarly, a friend who offers support during a difficult time may forever alter someone's ability to persevere. Our legacy is also shaped by the courage we show in pursuing our dreams and standing by our principles. People are inspired not just by what we achieve, but by how we achieve it, by the determination, integrity, and authenticity we bring to our journey. When we overcome obstacles, take risks for what we believe in, or demonstrate resilience in the face of adversity, we set an example for others. Our actions show that challenges can be faced with strength and grace, and that it's possible to rise above circumstances to create a meaningful life. Even our absence can amplify the legacy we leave behind. When we step back from a situation, people often gain a clearer understanding of the value we brought to their lives. The void created by our absence makes our contributions more visible, whether it's the kindness we showed, the support we provided, or the wisdom we shared. This absence doesn't diminish our impact, it highlights it, serving as a reminder of how deeply we touch the lives around us. To build a legacy that endures, we must live with intention. This means aligning our actions with our values, making choices that reflect the kind of impact we want to have, and prioritizing what truly matters. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. No one is without flaws or mistakes, but the overarching narrative of our lives is shaped by our efforts to grow, to learn, and to contribute in meaningful ways. A powerful aspect of legacy is that it transcends our immediate presence. The impact of our actions can echo through generations. Think of the values passed down within families, or the inspiration drawn from historical figures who lived with purpose and conviction. Their legacies endure because they lived in a way that resonated deeply with others, leaving behind lessons and inspiration that remain relevant long after they are gone. Building a legacy is not about waiting for the right time or achieving a specific milestone, it's about how we show up every day. Each moment offers an opportunity to add to the story of our lives, to create something meaningful, and to leave the world a little better than we found it. Whether it's through our work, our relationships, or our acts of kindness, every action contributes to the legacy we are building. The legacy we leave is not defined by what we take, but by what we give. It's the encouragement we offer, the lives we touch, and the example we set. It's the impact we have on others, even in our absence. By living intentionally and striving to make a positive difference, we ensure that our legacy is one of purpose, inspiration, and enduring impact. When we live in this way, we leave behind something far greater than ourselves, a legacy that continues to inspire, uplift, and transform lives long after we are gone. We come to understand that life's challenges, setbacks, and moments of solitude are not obstacles but opportunities. They are invitations to grow, to learn, and to redefine ourselves. In our absence, others see our true contributions. In our struggles, we find the seeds of our greatest strength, and in our persistence, we create the foundation of a legacy that will outlive us. It's not the circumstances we face, but how we respond to them that defines us. It's the lessons we embrace, the resilience we show, and the purpose with which we live that leave a mark on the world. Even when the road feels uncertain, Every step forward is a testament to our courage and determination. I urge you to rise above your doubts, embrace your challenges, and persist with unyielding faith in your abilities. Build a life that speaks to your values and leaves an indelible impact on those around you. Your story is powerful, your presence matters, and yes, even your absence holds immense value. Go forth with confidence, knowing that every decision, every action, and every moment contributes to the extraordinary legacy you are creating. The world needs what only you can give. Don't hold back. Now is your time to shine. Thank you.